I wouldn't go necessarily to say that I'm feeling inspired to do this, but I'm feeling required to do this by the universe. And what I mean by that is that in this very playful, flirtatious way with the universe, it will sometimes egg you on to do something. It says community. It's backwards, but it says community. Just look at the colors and the vibrancy. Community. The universe will sometimes do this thing where it almost eggs you on this way where you're feeling required to do something. And there's a humility to this. A beautiful, mature humility sometimes that you might have with one of your gifts, where you're truly humble. It's not a false humble thing, but it is a thing of like, hey, I guess I could share this or not. And the universe right now was just tapping me on the shoulder to say, hey, you never know who you're going to impact or influence by just being who you are. So community, define. Oh, I love this. The messages are coming through. Rosy bonnet, and these are mushrooms. Define and deception. Amethyst deceiver. Okay, wow, we're getting all of these pinks and purples. So right off the bat, the message that I'm receiving is go forth and be you. Go forth. Oh, wow. And this... I didn't even see this card. The deception comes through. I didn't even see this card, but it came through. And it's upside down, but it says essence. Oh, wow. This is really strong. So right now, by defining your essence and just taking that moment, even if it's painful, even if it's hard, even if it's a challenge for you to get real with yourself and just be like, hey, who do I actually want to be right now? Make sure that you know who you are before you start to get defined by your deceptive traits. And I'm saying your deceptive traits because there's an ownership that I like to take personally, that I've, at least right now in my journey where I am, is that I take things personally because it's not that I am that in a sense that that's only who I am, but it's that I could be that. I could be deceiving. I can be manipulative. I can be beautiful. I can be ugly. I can be anything I want to be. And I don't want to just say that as in this, oh, I can be anything I want to be, so that means all of the positive things. Yes. And be aware that it also means negative things. So be aware that because you're in this ooey gooey soup of this world, this possibility that we are in, you have a responsibility to be true to yourself. And the responsibility is to you. I'm not saying you're responsible to me. In a sense, yes. If you want to go all the way with it in this universal oneness, true aspect. And at the same time, I invite you to right now just take a moment for yourself to at least go inward and ask the question, have I been being true to myself? See if anything floats to the surface. Maybe you're pushing it away. Maybe you've been talking about somebody that you don't really want to be talking about. I know I've done that. I know that I've acted certain ways I don't necessarily want to act. And, lately I've definitely, this is just a vulnerable share, maybe you can relate, but I've definitely had to repetitively redefine and recreate possibilities for myself and remember possibilities for myself. Timing. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. This card had fallen out and then I put it back in and I was speaking and then came out again. So understand that this is all timing. It's really helpful. Right now it is a full moon, and it is helpful to remember that, hey, there are these times where things can feel really, really big and really, really important. And they are. And it's because there's this beautiful, it's like when you are blowing into a balloon and you kind of feel it getting bigger and bigger. And then there's a moment that it could just pop, right? There's a moment when it just pops. And essentially it's almost like no balloon ever happened, right? And so sometimes when these full moons come up, it's like that. It's like everything feels so big, and then all of a sudden it's nothing. And regardless of what you do, ultimately everything will go into place. Everything will be where it needs to be. However, there's also this opportunity when you're blowing that balloon to say, hey, I've hit just the right spot, tie off the balloon and send it off. And then you've done that consciously. It didn't do it to you. Now that can be fine too. I'm not dissing on that, right? I'm just talking about this one moment where you can stop it and choose to tie it off and let it float away, and then realize, hey, I have a whole nother bag of balloons and I'm just going to pop them. I'm not going to get so into this one thing and make it the biggest deal in the world, right? To the point where it pops. So this is all very abstract, and I do have a tendency to be very abstract, but that's because what I invite you to do right now is to just allow yourself to feel this energy that's being provided right now. And I mean that right now, if you're watching this video right now, this energy that I'm giving to you that's coming through is one of like, have you asked yourself who you are today? Did you wake up today and ask yourself what you want to create? And whether or not you get a defined answer, right? Start to practice that with yourself. 3 of Cups. There's something charging at you right now, changing you right now. There's something that's really saying, you know, repetitively coming at you again and again and again. 5 of Cups. And it's partially your emotions. Your emotions keep coming at you, and you know, you might be getting emotional because of how people are treating you or how you're treating other people, right? And right now, there's just a lot of movement of energy, and it's all leading to this place of like refresh and renewal. Okay, so I'm going to get one more, a clarification to tie off what I've just been looking at here on the spread. You know, because sometimes, right now, as someone, this is one of my, you know, first videos reading online. You know, I want to so much as a person provide something very personal and something very changing for one person, right? So what Zoe, my avatar, what my sort of soul wants, I love connecting with people on like this deep soul level right there as a friend. Like I really thrive off of like friendship energy. And one thing that I've realized about being a friend is that you have to still keep intact with yourself, and there's this requirement of air, there's this requirement of space, of allowance of space between 2 people, and then there's also an admittance, there's also this allowance of play with energy and with touch and these things like that. But you know, I'm just being really vulnerable right now that, you know, sharing online, it's like it's this start to me of sharing something with multiple people who aren't in my visible range, but I'm able to hopefully my intention is to connect with you right there where you are, and also on this deep and also this high level, this place where it's this realm that almost feels untouchable sometimes. When we're walking around, it almost feels like, if you're feeling this sense that like you're not connected, you're lonely, you're feeling like you're not touched, like your soul isn't being touched, like you're not, you know, you're sort of floating around, but no one's really there with you. And so what I love to do is, without you know, necessarily touching something physically, in a sense, I love to connect you to that place that connects to all of you, all of who you are, and to remind you that exists. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Ace of Wands has come out twice on 2 different tarot decks. Guys, this is big news. Whatever this is right now, there's big news. There's big news, and I'm being reminded, actually, that reminded me of something in my own life. It's either news or something that you've created to be a new. You've created this moment, or you and your soul and your family or your friends or your relatives, like people are co-creating these changes in realities, and it's really powerful right now. And at the same time, there might be this waiting period at the moment, but you're being offered something. Like, you have been being offered a new reality. Are you going to take it? So let me take a minute. I just heard this. How do we accept the new reality that either we or somebody else in our reality or are being offered? How do we actually accept the things that we want? How do we actually receive from the universe? So it's a moment to moment thing, and I'm gonna invite you to put your hand on your belly right now and to say, I receive the nourishment. I receive the nourishment of the spiritual universe. I receive the nourishment of the spiritual world and my soul, and I receive the truth, and I receive the power of the universe within me. And let yourself feel that. Whenever I start to say I receive, I get this grin. It just, you can't stop it, because to receive is really just this it's an opening, but it's conscious opening. So what that means is it's almost like active. When I say conscious, I feel this activity without being a specific action. It's like infinite action and infinite possibility. So when you say I receive from the universe, you're saying that you're receiving the universe, meaning that you are conscious with intention. You're filled with this conscious energy and this ability to be in the presence of your own divine self and creation. Excuse me. Woo! Oh yeah. King of chalices, King of cups. That is ultimate reception. Literally, water is the receptive energy, especially with the tarot and everything. This is, I mean, we have Queen of Cups and King of Cups. And Ace of Wands. I mean, this is unstoppable energy. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just verifying, confirming, and redirecting you back to yourself. If you've been being distracted tonight or this morning or this afternoon or whatever time it is, I want you to honestly tell yourself right now, let's go. Let's do this. Let's be receptive. Let's be receptive. I am the ultimate receptor. And know that you are. Like wands, this energy right now, this fiery energy, and paired with the watery energy is saying, I command you. And speaking to yourself, I command myself. I command of my energy. And not in this way that we've spoken about it or in the past sense, right? This commanding energy has been taken by the hierarchical illusion or tyranny or these sort of things that people say are bad and bad and bad. And it's only bad when people do it with unconsciousness. I'm going to go out on a limb, okay? Because that's what this energy is. It's saying, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, no, don't listen to what you think it is. I'm commanding the energy. And what's important about that, and I'll get to what I was going to say, but what's important about that is that no, you're not going to take my words and run with them how you want. I'm right here with you, and I'm watching you as you do it, and I'm not afraid of what you're doing. So often, if we're being gaslit, if we're being told that we are offensive or that we are not good enough or that we are, fake or we're like whatever it is, whatever the term is that you've heard, like, that people speak to you or that they would speak to you or that they will speak to you. Stay with it. Stay with the consciousness. You can always look someone in the eye and be true to yourself, and you'll always know what to say, but not what to say. You'll know how to be. That's what's important. You'll know how to be. So imagine that there was somebody who came into power sort of thing, but they had this clear intention that they wanted to empower and imbue like this energy of self knowing and love into the community. Like, imagine what that could create. And so it's saying, don't be afraid of your power, don't be afraid of your voice or your intentions. Like, oh man, I do have so much to share, and I'm gonna keep it at that, but like, this is really beautiful strength. Okay, so I'm being baited. I'm gonna choose to take the bait that I'm giving myself on this one and share that, you know, one of the things that we hear, one of the phrases we hear is intrusive thoughts. And it's so interesting the journey you can go on with something once you sort of jump into your own consciousness and you start to take on these darker areas of your consciousness and these darker thoughts you've had about yourself and these like depressive thoughts or whatever it is, right? So, you know, intrusive thoughts, this word comes up again and again. And I've had so many different like takes on it in my own mind and ways that I feel about it and relate to it. But lately what I've realized is like intrusive thought, it's almost like a repetitive phrase, because really thoughts are sort of, or really it's like one way of looking at thoughts. Oh, it's intrusive. It's this thought. It's intruding on me. Or you can think of it, you know, intrusive doesn't have to be that charged a word to you, which it's not to me. But I'm saying like in sort of colloquial speak and in social settings, like I hear it as being less like, oh, intrusive. Aren't you scared of the word intrusive? It's intruding on you. And I get it. We have so much like rape. We have so much power trips that have run the society on the underbelly, and then in the forebelly, like it runs from the bottom up and the top down, right? So I understand why that word has as kind of this power, this trickery in our brains, intrusive thoughts. But really what it is, okay, let's say I have the thought, oh, I could jab myself in the eye right now. The only reason, let me back that statement up. So if I have that thought, it's because it can be a thought, and I'm not choosing my own direction of energy if I give into that. So I wouldn't say, oh, well, I must be low vibe because I had a thought like that. Or I wouldn't say also that I'm so above that thought. So why am I even thinking that, and then freak myself out about that? It's more just and right now, who am I? And right now, who am I? And that's why I love the Ace of Wands energy. To me, it always reminds me of that initial sort of choice to awaken, that choice to bring in consciousness, that choice to like take whatever's given to you and make your own vibration from it. Make your own creation from it. It's like this creative energy of the fire that says, oh, and you gave me, you gave me the wood and you gave me the air, and I make whoosh, light. Like, I do what I want. When you think what you're giving me is gonna, I don't know, but this is what it is. It's light, it's consciousness, it's happening now, and I get to choose every single moment. And when people, if anything in your reality comes at you, if a person comes at you, or you perceive like an animal is coming at you a certain way, or you perceive a thing is, or a circumstance is coming at you a certain way, and you think it's trying to bait you to do this, just who cares? Who cares? Not who cares, but as far as you're concerned, you don't need to give that more mind. Why are they doing this? I found myself so often being like, well, why are they saying this? That's not for you to try and figure out in this moment. That will be revealed. Be patient with your revelations. Be patient with your curiosity. My time's running out because of things. But what I want to say is that be patient with your revelations as far as from the outside in. If you're curious about something from the outside in, first, okay, redirect your energy. What's my question that I can, what is within me right now? Where's my true curiosity within myself right now? Okay, I've observed something and it kind of brought a spark to my curiosity. Why am I curious? What do I actually want? What is my intention? Bam. So much to be revealed there. Okay, much love, and yeah, I look forward to continuing to be relatable to people who don't have awesome backdrops and things like that. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, it's really awesome to just say, like, who am I today and right now and always and forever, and just keep going into your consciousness. Mwah. Much love.